How's it going? Welcome to a Thursday night live stream. I am happy and things are good. And I wanted to share with everybody the happiness and the joy. A lot of things I want to talk about. Hey, Jill with Graceful Answers Ministries. Good to see you. I think I might have seen your band at Ormond Beach. Just wanted to let you know. Tia's here. Shane's here. Well, Shane's always here. Good to see you, Shane. Thomas, I needed this. Yes, we're all going to have fun tonight. And maybe, I hate to be so moody. Do you think I'm moody? I hope not. Um, I will say that a lot of good things are going on. And, we need to count our blessings and be thankful. And that's one of the things I preach. And sometimes, we're not always best. We're not always at our best. But we've got to try and make our effort, and we're forgiven. We're all failing, but I would say that a lot of good things going on in my life. It's up and down. Life is a roller coaster, right? So the first thing I wanted to talk about, well, this stream is going to be talking about procrastination and how to get things done and how to be the most productive and live life to the fullest and really, let's just be our best, right? That's kind of the theme here. Bella the Bayou over on Rumble, good to see you. Now, I will say that tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and this is like the sign of an alcoholic. No, I only drink on stream. Isn't that sad? I don't know. Maybe I'm not a party guy, but I am going to doing the Brucey, the One-Eyed Wonder Dog book launch party, 9 a.m. over on Legal Vice's channel. He's got a big channel, and he was offering to do it. I've been communicating with all kinds of people, all kinds of guests that may be there. Let's see if I got an email response. So we got a lot of people. I'm trying, people, Nick Rekieta is quite a controversial guy. He did write the intro to my second book, but he's really a good guy, and I'm trying to bring him over to the side of good. We're all sinners. So I understand that if people aren't your cup of tea, but everybody has their opinions. And the thing is, how people act in life, what they say is just a matter of words, right? But how they act, how do they treat their family? How do they treat their wife and children? Are they honest? Are they honest with you? You may not disagree. Like same with Branca somebody, or Andrew Branca. He's very opinionated, and a lot of people don't like what he says. Okay, you don't like what he says, but he loves his wife. He loves his family. He's a good dad, good provider. Slidey pie, good to see you. So we're nobody's perfect. So vices, obviously I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So let's look to the best and try to bring out the best in each other, right? So Just Joy, good to see you. Hi, how are you? So I've got a great, I'll say it. The first thing I will say, I'm looking right over here. I have it right over here, and I'm not going to reveal it, but I have in my hot little hands the printed proof of Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog. It's in my hands. And it looks great. It is perfect. It's so wonderful. So unless we get some big super chats or Rumble rants tonight, I'm going to save that for tomorrow, because we got to have unveilings and stuff, and you all are welcome to do that. But this is my channel. This is my little personal channel. And I'm not a big, well, you do what you want to do. But tomorrow is the big rollout. But it's there, and it's thumbs up. So all I got to do tomorrow is hit order books, and I will order my big pile of books for everybody who orders. And it's the hardcover, 8.5 by 11 wide, big. You'll see it tomorrow at the stream. So it's really cool. I'm very, very happy. So that's the first thing. It's great, right? Second thing is I was looking back, I was kind of down on myself because people, the numbers of people watching and stuff have been down, and the Rumble rant's been down, the book sales, everything's been down, right? But then, what I did is I was preparing for this stream on procrastination, and I did one way, way, way back that kind of touched on this, 9 a.m. Eastern, right? We're going to go for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, as long as Jeff will have me, and as long as we're selling books. And you know what people like to do is they like to buy me drinks. So sometimes I wonder if they really want the book or if they just want to see me get drunk, which as far as my wife concerned, she doesn't care as long as it gets done. Um, I want people to have the books, and I want it so bad that I want you to have the books so that you know the reason I'm doing all this is so that you get it. And if it takes somebody, if they want me to drink because of it, a law of self-defense is here. Great theme, Steve. The greatest individual weakness is society. So here's okay. Let's law of self-defense. Here's Mr. Branca. I have that person talking about. Did you hear your ears burn in there, Mr. Branca? And I will note it's a $10 super chat. Now, you could just join my locals. I don't know. I don't know. No, I answer all my super chats and robo rants. But thank you, Mr. Andrew Branca. We're having a great class. And this is another thing. I am almost done with the class. I've been teaching criminal procedure in American law courses for Mr. Andrew Branca. I'm the provost, but I've also teach 2 classes, and we have a great thing going. I'm really happy with the quality of content. I mean, it's the best. It's law school. It's better than law school. I'm going to make that statement. There's a lot of law professors that aren't as good as well. We've got the best law professors, great content. It's fun. It's interesting. It's not politically, correct. It's not propaganda. It's substance. And we are teaching law school level stuff. And I'm teaching that. And it's a lot of work to do it right and to do it to the standard that I want. And I'm almost done with the outlines. I've got 2 more outlines to finish, and then I will be fully finished. And then it's just a matter of running out the rest of the classes. So, but anyway, Andrew at Law Self-Defense asks, great theme, Steve. The greatest individual weakness in 2023 society is the individual lack of conscientiousness, right? Strongly paired with an overwhelming sense of entitlement. Well, conscientiousness is one of the big 5 personality traits. I'm an extreme individual in a lot of ways, my personality. And one of those things is I am basically 1 out of 1,000 extremely conscientious. That's probably most conscientious people are conservative. Openness people tend to be more on the liberal side. I'm also 80% open. So I'm kind of a strange schizophrenic dichotomy, but one of my defining characteristics is disagreeableness and conscientiousness and very high openness, which is an odd combination, but that's why I'm an odd guy. However, he's saying conscientiousness, don't have enough conscientiousness. That means, like I'll say, if you note that I'm always right on time, unlike other people with big noses who like to be late. I'm very rarely am I late. And when I am late, it bothers me a great deal. Even a little, like 1 minute late. I try to get right on this funny. So that's kind of the way I am. Overwhelming sense of entitlement, yes. And that's another good point. People like to the entitlement comes from a lack of history, a lack of humility, an overriding sense of self-worth unearned. Slidey Pie ordered it, looking forward to getting it. I'm really looking forward to getting these books. It'll be out next week. I will be shipping them out probably the end of next week because once I hit order, they'll get printed. They'll ship here probably Friday or Saturday of next week. I'll be boxing them up. So let's see. Who else? We got Amateur Iconoclast. Let's see here. Who else is in the stream? Well, so let's talk about it. My hair looks nice. See there? And I got so much to be grateful for. Oh, and so I was saying, the shirt. See, this is Brucey colors. I'm wearing this in honor of Brucey because it's Brucey colors. I got it right here, man. It's there. It's ready to be approved. Ergonimius, how you doing? Wim. So, thank you, Ginger. My shirt looks nice. It's a blue. I kind of like this shirt. I like that color. So, let me see. What was I going to say? Oh, and the God Bless You hat. Yes, this is for honor Farmhand Tom, who's been missing in action, but I still love him. Got me this, and I think it's wonderful. What other things? I think I got so many. I got my death penalty appeal finally completed. I got it done, and then I had to amend it because their time deadlines are very tight, and I didn't want to ask for a continuance. And then it's a long story, but what a pain. But So that's done, and I'm working on the next case. I'm getting caught up on so many fronts. I got Brucey done. Things are going good in a lot. Oh, but I was, like I said, I was going back on Rumble to go and do some research for this topic, right? Because I'd done one similar a while back when I was first starting my channel on this topic. And I wanted to revisit it for a number of reasons. But going back and looking, I was looking at how few views that I had early on. And it's so ridiculous. It's just a number. I'm doing this because I'm enjoying it. You guys, I am selling books. People do give Rumble rants and super chats, and and as long as it's fun, and maybe it's just I'm in a good mood or I'm happy or whatever. But you should appreciate. I appreciate every one of you, the people that are here in chat, the people that are watching on replay, the people who are just quiet little mouses who are watching in the background and listening. That's okay too. So, let's see what else we got. Ooh, congratulations, Just Joy. Brucey will be my first book to my new grandson that will be born in March. Well, that's so sweet. And that's what I really want. Like, I've got a whole box of books out in my garage. When I was a kid, we had all the Dr. Seuss books and all the Peanuts books. And my mom read to us when we were little kids. And then those got all boxed up, all our good hardcover books, right? And then when my son was born, we took him off the shelf and I read all those books to him. And now they're back up on the shelf. And hopefully someday I'll have little grandbabies and I'll give him that box of books and he can read them. So it's one of those things you pass on and on to to your family. It's like a family heirloom. And that's what I'm intending out of this. And I think I've succeeded. I pray that I've succeeded. I think I am. So we'll see how it goes. All right. So let's get to the topic of the day. Oh, Tammy says, love the theme. I have your book ideas and answers and love all the topics you cover. Well, I'm not going to step. Okay, I promised myself I'm not going to step on my book release because Mr. Branca scolds me because he says I'm all over the place, and I am all over the place. I got all these different topics, all right? And he's like, you need to stick with your lane. And one of the problems is I'm already working on the next 2 books, right? Which my wife won't let me publish unless I sell a bunch more of these, but I will say that I'm working on them. I don't want to even tell you about them because the point is that we got to focus. Mr. Branca says, focus on what you got. And right now, the big celebration is Brucey. So let's see, what are we talking about? So I went back and I was appreciating, like, even if I get 1,000 views, 1,000 views is wonderful. But back when I was first starting, I remember how happy I was when I hit 100 views on one of my topics. So, this is the thing. You can always get snooty and like, oh, I should be, and I got to remind myself that it's just, look, life is such, right? Let's see here. What are we going to do? Okay, so back to productivity. So how is it? And people are always asking me, like, the joke is, Ghazi's. I have, boy, the one. See, I want to tell you about it. I've got another book in the pipeline that's 150 pages. It's going to be a huge textbook. It's basically going to be a textbook, all right? And it will be big, expensive. It won't be for everybody. It's going to be very academic, very specific, and it's really work related, right? But I'm working on it, and it's huge, and it's a mountain to climb. But I'm really enjoying it because I'm learning it. I learn by writing, but by doing these things, it's like, well, why are you why are you doing all this books? Like, he's written an article on it, he's written on it, because I write, I think, and I learn by writing. So going through the process of digesting it and then writing it out and putting it in my words and organizing it and putting it into the framework, all of that is a way to think. So all of these are exercises in thinking. They all have a story behind them. They have a subject matter that interested me, that I went forward. And then also, of course, I'm teaching and I'm doing all these things. I'm parenting, I'm husbanding. We're going up to West Virginia for Thanksgiving. That's going to be fun. So all of these things, well, how do you accomplish these things? Well, first of all, get rid of your bad habits. All right. That's my first advice. And you know what they are. You've got a bad habit. You've got a favorite vice. What is that bad habit that sucks all your time? Are you correctly spending the coin of your time in the things that you choose? There's a chapter in Prepare that talks about the moral imperative of spending your time wisely. And I do believe that it's a moral question. God has given us life, and God has given us a finite frame in which we're conscious, we're above the curve, meaning we're conscious and free to choose of life, and it begins and it ends. So you have limited coins to put into the machine of life, right? Now, I will say you need to be respectful enough to get yourself some downtime, to entertain yourself, reward yourself, to take time off, to vacation, to smell the roses, to look at the sun, to appreciate that which is around you. Yes. So some of those coins need to go for that, which is living life and enjoying life, right? The second, but there's also a matter of, are you spending these coins on things that are absolutely not worthy of your time expenditures? Are you just in a cycle of watching things and doing things that are just not helpful? I know that, like, I loved video games back in the day, and I quit them cold turkey because I'm like, why am I doing this? Now, there occasionally, I guess I would pick up a gamer now and then, but that's what I want to do. But I like board games too. I got a board game. One of the things I'm going to stream a board game stream one of these days. Do talk about cool board games. I'm trying to get my friend Mariah on to talk about it because she's a world class board gamer, and Ian Runkle too, uh, who likes board games. So I'm going to try to get them two on together. But spend your time wisely. All right. But now I'm not just talking. Now, first of all, that applies to the general, the big arc of your life. Look at your life and say, what are those things that I'm spending time, by spending my coin of my time on? Have I correctly prioritized what I'm spending my time on? If you're ignoring your children and watching football, that's probably not the correct expenditure of time, right? If you're if you're uh, falling down drunk all the time and it's interfering with your job and your life and your relationships, that's probably not a good expenditure of your time or money, right? I carry with for you too. Thank you. And this is the thing, like, I'm spending a lot of time on this channel. And I think a part of it is that, my son is off to college and there's a parenting. I like helping people and wanting them to be better. So that's one of the things, right? Candyland. Oh, I've got stories about Candyland. I made sure Iconoclast. All right. So the next thing, let's talk about the more specific. So that's the general. Let's talk about the specific and how you plan your day and how to beat procrastination. People don't believe it, but I used to be a bad procrastinator in college, right? And but I have beaten that, and I want to share that with you because most people, the procrastination is a big part of who we are. A lot of people procrastinate, right? So, what are the solutions? What's the solution to procrastination? Um, all right. Well, let's talk about some concepts. I will say that one of the things that helped me was working in a law firm where I had to keep track of every 6-minute increment of my time. You have to keep a timesheet, and we bill in 6-minute increments, so a tenth of an hour. And so you'd write a letter, and that was point one tenth of an hour spent writing that letter, and you bill out the point one at $200 an hour, right? And it sounds ridiculous, but and I hated it, and I never got great at it. I got good with it, but keeping track of how you're spending every moment of your day it does impose a certain discipline so that you're conscious of what you're doing at all times. So when I go and I chat with the neighbor or my office mate, right, I recognize that I'm taking time and I'm choosing to take time. It's like, okay, this person is a human being and they're important and we need to talk and they want to listen to me, right? So that's number one. One of the things you can do is, well, okay, the first thing I did when to beat that is because be honest with yourself and think about yourself like, why am I procrastinating here? Why am I procrastinating? Now, sometimes it's fear. Like in my base, it was fear of like I was paralyzed and like, oh, I got to study for this test and it's coming. And I'm like, I want to avoid it. I don't want to do the test because it's work and it's difficult and I have to learn something. So I'd go to the lunch and then I'd go talk to somebody and I'd avoid. And it's coming and coming. And then I'd study at the last minute and I wouldn't do well on the test. Right. So it was avoidance of the pain that was inevitable that I felt that was going to be difficult, right? Well, how do you beat that? Well, so here's my strategy that I did to beat this is that as soon as something came in, I would immediately start working on it, immediately work on it. So instead of putting off the work to the end, I front loaded the work on the beginning. Because the problem is all during the lead up to that test, you're stressed out. You're stressed out about what's coming. Got it? So you've got a whole, let's say the test is a month out. That's a month of stress where you're worried about the test. Now, instead, if you front load it and you study for that test as soon as it comes up, okay, boom, I'm going to start working on it, then it's done. And now you've got a stress free month. Let me translate that into appeals. You get a case comes in on appeal. I've got to read the record and I've got to draft the brief. First thing I do is I start a brief up and I just format it. And now it looks like I've made progress. The first thing I do is I do that and I start a little file, I make a little file, I have a brief, and it says, look, there's the name of my client. It says initial brief. It's got it all formatted. There's my signature page. It's in a thing. Already, I've made progress, right? So now I just have to fill in the rest of the stuff. So that's the first thing I do. So now I've immediately hit it. It doesn't sit there and like it's waiting for me, right? It's work is being done. Now, what's the next step? Well, you got to front load it. Start working on that thing immediately. Okay, yes, it's due in I've got 90 days to get that brief done. But I can do it right now. I could do it right now and sit on it. So what I do is I'll say, all right, I'm gonna start writing this brief. So I've got the format. The next day I might come in. I'll say, today I'm just going to go through the record. I'm going to read this motion. I'm going to read the opening statements in the trial. I'm just going to make a little goal and chip away at that big project by setting myself a little very easily achievable goal. Like today I did that. Today I was like, I've read the record. Now I've got the trial. I said, I'm just going to read the opening statements today. And I did. And I read the opening statements and then I read the first witness. Well, that's a success because now, like, I only thought I was going to read the opening statements, but I read the opening statements and the first witness. Yay for me. Well, this is a little tiny goal. That was easy, right? But I set my goal so tiny that I got success by overshooting it. And now I feel good about myself. Now, if I had done the other way, I would say, okay, I'm going to read the whole trial transcript today. And I only get through the opening statements and the first witness. Now I'm down. I'm like, oh, that sucked. I didn't get anything done. Now I'm beating myself up for doing work. So one way to tackle a big project is to break it down into little easy to bite pieces and then chip away at it. Okay. So the next thing is we get this fear of work. And remember, you want to do your best. You want to do your best on everything that you're doing, right? Gotcha. Well, how do you do your best? Because you have this internal debate that goes on within you that you know that if you're doing your best, it's a lot of work. Oh my goodness, doing this is a lot of work, right? I don't want to do all that work, so I'm going to shortcut it. And then you debate with yourself and you're mad at yourself, right? So what you need to do is divide yourself into two things: the supervisor and the worker bee. And the supervisor, you put on the supervisor hat and you say, okay, I'm going to advise my worker bee. I'm going to advise somebody else how to accomplish this task to the best of their, like if I say, if I want this to be done the best, here's what I tell them to do. and then actually write the list out of here's what you need to do in order to fully, like if I want to beat that test, I need to read the chapter, I need to outline the chapter, right? I need to go through a set of test questions for each paragraph, ask a question, what that paragraph might be teaching me, or a question that might derive from that paragraph. And then I'm going to outline it. And then maybe I'm going to discuss it. Maybe I'll outline the thing. Maybe I'll discuss it with one of my friends. So I'm going to put all those things down of things that I can do in order to, that I would tell my best buddy how to make the A on the test. And I write all that down onto a checklist to give to my buddy. And then take that list and give it to yourself. And then now instead of the commander hat, you put on the worker bee hat. You accept this and say, okay, here's what I need to accomplish. So divide it into two tasks: the commander and the servant. Command your best friend in order to do your best, and then accept that list and accomplish it. So that's another trick. All right. Okay, here's another one. And that is when sometimes like I get stuck, and it's like, you're not being productive. You'll sit in your office and you'll like, you're reading something, and it's like you read the same thing over and over again. You've read the same witness over and over again, and you spend a whole day of doing nothing. And it's like, man, I just wasted a whole day. This sucks. And now you feel like you were ahead and now you're behind because you wasted a day. All right. When that happens. When that happens, here's what and I actually take there's actually a little more strategy to this, but let me just give you a little insight of what you should do in that situation. When that's happening, what you do is take that work that you've got to do and set it aside, and then focus on the plan. And what I do is I have an organization, and I'll just relate it to my appeals. Here's a list of all my appeals, what the status of them is, and I update them all the time and where they are, what I need to accomplish on each thing. And so what I do is I just massively organize everything. So I just spend half a day or however long it takes organizing my life in a checklist format or a to-do list or whatever. But just get all the clutter on your desk and everywhere else organized, and then prioritized. And then once you get done, then what the first thing you need to work on, which is priority. Okay, I've got another. I'm going to get a little bit more formal with you, if you don't mind. Well, it's my stream and I can do what I want. And I'm going to show you a couple little things. This is above and beyond, all right? I'm going to present, share screen. So take a look at this. Can you see that? So here are some tips from some more important people than me. I gave you my insights, but I'm going to say here's the tip, right? Look at this. List everything you need to do, get it all out of your head, organize it in a single space. You're now ready to use methods to short and prioritize it. Okay, here's the Eisenhower matrix method. So what you have is urgent and non-urgent, important and unimportant. All right, so here's how to prioritize. So now you've listed all the stuff that's in your head that you need to do. All those things, personal or now is it urgent or is it not urgent? So put a real thing next to it, urgent, not urgent. And then on the other side, say, is it important or is it not important? Well, the urgent, important, you do that immediately. That's top of the list, right? Urgent, unimportant, he says assign it out. Now, this is Eisenhower, so he can assign it to whoever he wants. Urgent or important but not urgent, block time for it. So you can block blocks of time on your schedule. And then not urgent and unimportant, take it off the list. Get rid of that task because it's not helpful. So here's an Ivy Lee method, which is number 1 through 5. List 6 tasks for tomorrow. Order them by importance. Start your day with task 1, work until it's done. Move on to task 2, finish it, 10 tasks 3. At the end of the day, move leftover tasks to the next day. So this is just a matter of listing all the things you need to do and then prioritizing, right? How about that one? That's pretty cool, huh? All right. Yes, thumbs up. Thank you. Yes, give me the thumbs up on YouTube or Rumble or wherever you are. I got another one. Want to hear some more? I got more stuff here. This one's cool too. All right, here we go. This is, see, I want you to be better. And this is what it is. It's all about better. Oh, White Rabbit and Expert. Good to see you. Both here. Aren't I lucky? I'm blessed to have good people. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. on Vices, we're going to have the big book rollout. Okay, so here's 4 tactics to stop procrastinating now. So let's look at these. Different people have different things. 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Doing it gets off your list and out of your mind. You take out the trash right when you remember it's trash day. That's a really good one. Do it immediately. When you think about it, do it immediately. 5-second rule. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then take immediate action. The countdown interrupts procrastination and you act. You count down, then turn off Netflix and start writing the email you've been putting off. That's pretty good, huh? It gives you a little verbal cue, mental cue to break it up. Eat the frog, Mark Twain, always about frogs. Tackle the hardest task first thing in the AM. Get the tough one done, makes the rest easier. You finish a challenge or important first thing, and you're free to focus on other tasks. And then the 4 quarters method, which is a different one, divide your day into 4 parts: morning, midday, afternoon, and evening. You've now got 4 shots instead of 1. If 1 quarter goes bad, you can reset and start fresh. You waste the morning, but refocus at midday and get productive instead of waiting tomorrow. How about that? That's pretty good, huh? I will say that no, upon the horizon, you're stuck and you got to stay right here with me. Okay, because this is important. Now, people know, see, I actually have little yellow stickies that I carry around. And the 5-second, one of the things is that inspiration strikes at the strangest places. Like I said, they should pay me to take showers because I do a lot of my best thinking in the shower. And so when I take a shower, I have actually water-based Post-it notes. And I have a pencil in there and I can write down ideas as they come to me. And I write them down and then I stick them on the wall because they stick because they're water. And then what I do is I transport it. I'll put it in my pocket. And when I get to the place wherever I need to be, I'll pull out the thing. And that it annoys me. That little pocket there is useless. And it annoys me to have a piece of paper in there. So when I pull out the paper, I'm like, oh, I got to remember to do that. If you don't write it down when the inspiration strikes, you will forget it. At least I will. So you lose so much great inspiration by not recording it. As soon as you get that inspiration, I've always got one of these stickies. I got one in the car, one at work, one here in my office, and one in my shower. And as soon as I get that inspiration idea, I write a note to myself so that I can remember that idea. And then I put it in my pocket. And when I'm in a place that I can accomplish that idea, I then pull out the note and I check it off. And it's one of those little 5-minute things. Okay, this just takes me 5 minutes and I've got 5 notes. Boom, boom, boom. I get them all done. And boy, I've done a whole bunch of stuff just in the morning. Today, for example, I did, I found this really cool article because I read a lot on the internet, especially. And there was this guy like 10 quotes, religious quotes by FDR. And I have a document at my work that I have great quotes. It's a document of great quotes. And I wanted to put those quotes into my document. So I wrote a note, FDR, great quotes document. I emailed myself the article. And when I got to work, here's the note. First thing I did, I pulled up my great quotes thing, stuck it in there, crumpled up the sticky, done, right? Isn't that cool? Another thing I have is ideas for writing. I have about a 15-page document of ideas for writing that I want to do. Like, I do a lot of writing. And some of these start because I'll have an inspiration in the shower. That would be a good idea. Oh, that's a good idea. That's an inspirational idea. It strikes me, right? And so I write it down. And then what happens is I put it in my ideas for writing document. And then when I get to a place where I can actually write, I've got all this inspiration ready to build on. And sometimes I'll research it and sometimes that doesn't go anywhere. Sometimes it'll develop into like a paragraph, and I write it in full sentences and full. I start with just a couple ideas, then I throw it into sentences, then I organize it, and then sometimes they grow into like full papers or books. Things grow, or sometimes they don't go anywhere, but the inspiration is captured in a document called Ideas for Writing. And it's all organized. I've got political ideas, I've got legal ideas, I've got practical legal ideas, I've got theoretical legal ideas, I have fiction ideas. So I have all these ideas organized in this huge document called Ideas for Writing. Many of these articles here started that way, this started that way. All of these things, that's how they start, with just a little yellow sticky and a little flame of inspiration. All right, what else I got? I got another one for you. Isn't this a good stream? Okay, here's another one. Now we need to understand our causes present, okay? Check this out. See that? Here, these are why. Why do we procrastinate? So understand yourself. I have my reasons. But what are your reasons? Well, here's some science-backed causes. Science says it, you can't deny that. Self-regulation, inability to focus or manage stress levels leads to procrastination. And this is what I'm talking about taking vacation and taking time off, because I had to take time off after I got done with this capital brief because I was so stressed out. And I don't know if you saw, I was pretty down, and I needed to just stay home and do nothing for a week, basically, because my stress levels were off the chart, and I needed to just watch Project Runway and goof around on my stupid tablet doing a stupid game, or just doing dumb stuff, doing nothing, taking long showers and relaxing, right? So that's self-regulation. Ego depletion module. Willpower drains daily, making procrastination easier. Goal setting theory. Vague or easy goals don't motivate you enough to act. Well, I told you about making simple goals, but you also want to make big goals. What direction of your life do you want to be in? What are your life goals? But then also you have little goals for the day, and you build a lot of little tasks that are productive. And if those little tasks end into a big task, right? You don't start on the top of Mount Everest. You start by taking your first footstep. But if you want to get to the top of Mount Everest, you set that as a goal. I want to get up there. But then you've got a long journey. You got a lot of big planning. But that journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right? So you've got to manage the big and the small. So fight or flight model. Fear of failure or judgment can cause avoidance. This is the one that was paralyzing me and caused me to procrastinate. Habit loop model. Procrastination becomes a go-to response, forming a habit. Now that's a very important one. Habit. And if you've read Prepare, I quote Aristotle, who says that we are what we do continually. And habit is what we do continually. You can get yourself into some bad habits. So define it. Define yourself at by being very strong on your habits. So what do I mean by that? If you make a habit of being late, then it's like, oh, that's just who I am. I'm just a late person. Well, that's just a matter of commitment to the deadline, right? Let me think of another good example. Habits. If you make a habit of keeping yellow stickies around, somebody who says, like, if they are a habitual liar, they'll justify it in their head. There's a reason. I'm going to say I lied because of this, and I lied because of that. But I'm not a liar. But I lied because of that, and I lied because of that. Well, you are what you do continually. So if you continually lie, or whatever your justification, eventually that is who you are. So be careful on the habits that you develop for yourself. So that's that. All right, let me see. What else do I want to tell you about? I think we're good. Okay, so everybody's invited tomorrow, 9 a.m. at Legal Vices channel. Have some guests. We'll have some good people on, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be a nice long stream. You do need to get your Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog. It's right here. It's ready to order. Look, I'll just show you the look at that. See thing. I'm not joking. I'm joking. I'm not kidding you. That's it. So it is ready to go. Get ready to go. And I'll give you the full rundown tomorrow. We're gonna have a nice long stream. I'm taking off from work. I have so much time. I almost never take off, and I need to start taking off more time because I have for a lot of reasons. But and then at 9 p.m., I think I'm going to be on with Talk with Sally, and then I'm going to be on Nick Staroff, the Swedish labor lawyer, on Sunday, talk about Eileen Warnos. And as we go forward, we'll see. I'm continually doing some things. I've been in communication with Mr. Ricada. Maybe I'll go on there sometime. Maybe Joe, Good Logic. I don't know. But we'll see who invites me on. If you're on these other channels, tell them you need to have Ghazni on to talk about his new book, which is Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog, right? Or whatever. Get me on with those other ones, right? We need to do that as a team. Runkle is doing a 24-hour stream as a fundraiser for a children's hospital starting later tonight. Okay, good for Runkle. Runkle's a neat guy. I really want him on to do a gaming stream about board gaming. And I just have to coordinate it between him and my buddy Marai, who's the expert board gamer. So thank you, Just Joy. Yeah, and you never know. Like, it's the story about spreading the seed. Just Joy, here's what she says. Yeah, Ricada was at Mar-a-Lago. I saw him. Thank you for the stream. You never know when you make a difference in somebody's life at the right moment. And, don't procrastinate. Go to steveghazni.com and get Brucey, the One-Eyed Wonder Dog, because now is the time. Because I don't know what the future is. I know that right now, if you order it right now, you will get this top quality book. Now, it's hardcover. It's the top quality. I may shrink it. I may make it smaller. I may make it soft cover. I don't know what the future may hold for that book. But I know right now, if you get it, you'll get a first edition, signed, autographed, hardcover copy of one of the best children's books you're going to find. So I can't argue with that. I do like Runkle. Runkle's a really neat guy, very laid back guy. So Just Joy, you never know. It's kind of like one of those things. This may not be applied to you. I mean, you might be really fastidious and not need this. Maybe you don't. Maybe you've beaten the procrastinate. But there might be somebody out there right now who's listening who's like, I've always had this procrastination problem. How did Mr. Ghazni fix it? Because I was a bad procrastinator all through college. And I learned some tricks. First thing is just instead of doing it at the last minute, I just flipped it and said, I'm going to do it immediately. As soon as I get some work, I'm going to start working on it immediately, even if you frame it out. And then you can think about it and you can make it the best you can do. Lots of good tips there. So, all right. Anything else? You guys good? Good? Did you have a good? So I'll hope to see you 9 a.m. tomorrow. Please go get your pre-order of Brucey. Tomorrow after my stream, I will be placing my order. And so now is the time. No procrastinating. I guess it fits with the theme, right? I know I've thought about merchandising. We'll see. If Brucey's really successful, I'll merchandise. Okay. It's a good idea. Yeah, it's 9 a.m. upon, but it's just, this is, there's different groups. Like some people come here and they watch me on my stream, and you guys are my buddies. This is like my close group, the people like you upon, you're always here. And I know you're not going to watch Nick Ricada's stream, but he's got a whole group of people that he reaches out to that we might be able to touch through his group. And Vices has his crew, the Vice Squad, right? And Andrew Legal Mindset has his group, and Joe has his group. And so you just never know where those little seeds will fall and where somebody will hear that doesn't normally tune in, maybe here, but will be on these larger channels that you never know where the seed will grow in. But I very much believe in Brucey. I may have, so just since you're staying up with me this late, or the end of the stream here, I will say, I'm going to give you a little tip. There might be the fellow that did This cover, Death Penalty Debates, see that logo design that he did here? And he also did the cover to Summer Friend. Okay, this cover, which I think is really cool. This guy's name is Grok, and he's from Belgrade, Serbia, and he's the one that did the layout. He also assisted in the layouts of Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog. He may be a special guest on Vices. I've invited him, and he's a little shy because he's Serbian. I've also invited the artist for Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog. I doubt she will be on. I doubt, because she is a Russian speaker. She lives in, I think it's Qatar, it might be Dubai. I think she lives in Dubai. But she actually wrote this book. Her name is Marina Bakasova, and this is the book that she wrote about doing watercolors. See there, this is her book. Isn't that cool? So I've invited her on. I don't think she's going to come because she's very ashamed of her English. People don't know from outside this country that we don't care. We love accents. We like it when you stumble around. It doesn't bother us at all. But other people get a little more persnickety about their thing. But anyway, she's the artist that did Brucey, and Grok did the layouts. So I hope Grok, I'm pretty sure Grok's going to be there. I've invited her. She may not show, but that'll be fun. All right, good stuff. And one of the things about this is that you need to do your best and be good. All right? That goes for you. You know who you are. Get your act together. All right. See you later.